Sometimes dominant runs with the most coveted titles in the game weren't just designed to make a top star look like a beast. And there have also been occasions when an unexpectedly brilliant spell with a strap only came to pass because of a career-stalling injury. So with that in mind, I'm Gareth from What Culture Wrestling, and here are 10 hidden meanings behind epic wrestling title reigns. Number 10, Brock Lesnar holds onto the title in order to smash CM Punk's record. Before Roman Reigns came along and made tribal history, refusing to let go of his Universal belt for a staggering 1,000 plus days, it was the head of the table's longtime rival who held the record of longest WWE World Champion of the modern era. Brock Lesnar enjoyed a dominant 504 days as the Monday Night Raw wrecking machine, gobbling up everyone from Goldberg to Samoa Joe along the way, albeit one who didn't wrestle anywhere near as often as the last bloke who held the title of longest reigning WWE World Champion of the era. That guy was none other than eventual AEW World Champion CM Punk. But with Pepsi Phil ultimately walking out on WWE back in 2014, it felt like only a matter of time before Vince McMahon made it his bitter mission to drag that prestigious honor away from Punk. Sure enough, Lesnar eventually did precisely that from 2017 to 2018, and it was hard to escape the feeling that the WWE chairman simply had his beast sit at home with his big red belt for months on end as one last rather petty middle finger to the chick magnet. Number 9, Willow Nightingale only won the New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong Women's title due to a Mercedes Moné injury. Seeing the undeniable source of light, positivity, and power that is Willow Nightingale didn't actually become the inaugural New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong Women's Champion because she was the most exciting and bold choice on the night of Resurgence. The original plan was to have former IWGP Women's Champion Mercedes Moné walk out of the event as New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong's new Women's Champion. The company even reportedly created the belt specifically for the one-time Sasha Banks. However, Moné suddenly went down injured during the tournament final against Nightingale, hurting her ankle as the call was made to instead put the strap on Willow. The fact the fiery babyface wasn't supposed to walk out of California as the first champ didn't stop Nightingale from establishing herself as a star deserving of that gold though. Impressive and hard-hitting title defenses against Emi Sakura and Rachel Ellering would follow, with Nightingale also challenging for Toni Storm's AEW Women's World Championship in a losing effort at Forbidden Door. Her time as the champ may have been cut short by Giulia at New Japan Pro Wrestling Independence Day, but it was a joyful, completely unanticipated ride while it lasted. Number 8, AJ Styles remained champion because he was a 2K cover star. The King of Strong Style had already proven he was capable of carrying WWE Gold in NXT, and a crowning moment on the grandest stage of them all in a dream rematch against AJ Styles felt like too glorious an opportunity to squander. But WWE had other ideas, opting to have the popular Phenomenal One hold on to his title against the likes of Nak, Samoa Joe, and Rusev until he eventually passed JBL's record as the longest reigning WWE champion SmackDown had ever seen. And while not eventually strapping a newly heel Nakamura increasingly seemed like a bit of a baffling call in the time post-Mania 34, Styles had actually been confirmed as WWE's new cover star for the upcoming 2K19 video game, with the company feeling that having their video game obsessed cover boy remain WWE champion was the right choice at the time. Had another performer been given the opportunity to be the face of that year's WWE game, who knows whether Nakamura would have added his first ever WWE World title to his long list of accolades. Now, what do you think's the greatest wrestling video game of all time? Well, let me know in the comment section down below. Number 7, Daniel Bryan pushed for Kofi Mania to become a reality. As the new Daniel Bryan, the planet-loving WWE champion made it his mission to shame those who were ignorantly destroying his world with their meat-eating and constant use of plastic. And you may not be aware of the fact that it was actually Bryan himself who went out of his way to ensure Kofi Kingston would be facing off against him on the night of WrestleMania 35. When talking to After the Bell, the New Day man explained that this wasn't the original plan at all, and it was the planet's champion who pushed for Kofi to be his opponent in the epic contest that would eventually kick off Kingston's long-awaited first reign as a WWE World Champion. Sure, it would all end in tears thanks to a completely unnecessary Brock Lesnar squash down the road, but Kofi Mania and the sight of Kingston holding the top strap was still a glorious one for a while there. Number 6, The Miz only won his latest WWE title to keep two main eventers strong and set up an epic reign. Elimination Chamber 2021 saw Drew McIntyre's second reign as WWE Champion come to a shocking end as as The Miz successfully and bizarrely cashed in his second Money in the Bank briefcase. The reality behind why this unexpected title run came about soon became a bit clearer a few weeks later, however. 8 days on from Miz's unlikely WWE title win, Bobby Lashley finally received the title shot he was promised for taking out McIntyre after his valiant Elimination Chamber efforts. And in truth, Miz's improbable victory was only really booked as a way to get the top strap from McIntyre to Lashley without having the former look weak. In the end, were it not for Miz acting as the battered transitional champ between the dominant Scotsman and the Almighty, WWE wouldn't have been able to sneakily have their cake and eat it, with Drew remaining a strong babyface in the aftermath, while Lashley went on to hold the strap for an epic 200 days. Number 5, Slacker Orange Cassidy is secretly the most fighting champion in the business. As the weeks passed by, Freshly Squeezed repeatedly and carelessly put his newly won prize on the line, and what started as a pretty baffling attempt to represent the All Elite fans watching around the world soon provided Cassidy with the platform to secretly establish himself as the most fighting champion in the business at this current moment in time. At time of recording, this apparent slacker has now somehow broken the record for most title defenses in AEW history, with his run as the now international champion possessing perhaps the most colourful collection of diverse, intricate and routinely fascinating contests seen in any modern championship reign. All this from a bloke fond of shoving his hands in his pockets mid-match and brushing his boots against his rival's shins. What a time to be alive. Number 4, loyal Jon Moxley was technically a free agent AEW World Champion. When the company found itself in a somewhat difficult position after AEW World Champion CM Punk went down injured, Tony Khan knew he could rely on AEW's heart and soul to steady the ship until the best in the world made his return. However, there was actually another fascinating detail to the Jon Moxley interim AEW World Championship story that most fans weren't entirely aware of around the time the Blackpool Combat Club man was in the thick of one of the strongest AEW title runs to date. As noted by Mox himself earlier this year, the interim champion's deal with AEW had actually run out whilst he was still holding the title. And despite technically being able to rock up at that year's SummerSlam with AEW's top prize, and being well within his rights to refuse to put over Punk at All Out 2022 during his eventual return, Mox didn't do either and remained loyal to the All Elite cause. With that, Jon Moxley secretly cemented himself as arguably the most reliable world champion in modern history. Number 3, Gunther's Intercontinental title run is bringing back the glory days. Even when the Ring General managed to obliterate Ricochet to pick up his first piece of main roster gold in June 2022, those memories of talented workers like Shinsuke Nakamura, Finn Balor, AJ Styles, and many more still not being able to make the Intercontinental title feel like the same prestigious workhorse belt once held by the likes of Bret Hart and Mr. Perfect refused to go away. Over the course of a frankly outrageously successful year or so though, Gunther hasn't just made the strap that once struggled to find a way onto PLEs feel special again, he's cemented himself as arguably the most unstoppable person in all of wrestling. But perhaps the most impressive part of the longtime IC champ's near record-breaking run with the gold is the fact that the heel force of nature has bullied his way through the mid-card whilst also subtly establishing himself as a true workhorse every step of the way. You'll love to see it. Number 2, Roman Reigns unified the world title strap so he could regularly appear on both shows. While it certainly looked good on the graphic heading into WrestleMania 38, Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar's winner-takes-all undisputed WWE Universal Championship main event, easy for me to say, did leave some nervous fans wondering what this meant for the future. It soon became clear that the Tribal Chief leaving the show of shows with both world titles would set the stage for his already dominant run as SmackDown's top champion to continue across both brands. Hilariously though, WWE reportedly gave the double champ that additional title in the first place, with the understanding it would allow Roman Reigns to appear on both shows more regularly. But despite holding the two biggest prizes in the company, Roman's dates actually began to decrease in the time post WrestleMania 38, with the champ signing a new deal around that time that would involve him working fewer events than before. However, even with him not being present on WWE programming anywhere near as much as the company were likely hoping when they double strapped him up, there is no denying implying that Reigns' special attraction presence within an increasingly compelling Bloodline saga has been one of the key reasons why the company is currently enjoying one of its most successful periods ever. Number 1. Brock Lesnar bulldozed John Cena to start a dominant reign out of respect to The Undertaker. Brock Lesnar's bullying of the face that runs the place at SummerSlam 2014 would kickstart the Beast's first of many dominant runs with the top title during his second stint with the sports entertainment giant. But what you may not have realized is that this entire emphatic opening to that epic run holding the WWE World Heavyweight Championship all started with a little dinner conversation between the Beast and none other than Stone Cold Steve Austin. As revealed by John Cena earlier this year on the Not Sam Wrestling podcast, the aforementioned pair's chat consisted of Austin pitching the birth of Suplex City to Lesnar, and Cena absolutely loved the idea, feeling that this was the only way the two wouldn't waste all the momentum Brock had built up after conquering The Undertaker's legendary streak a few months earlier. So instead of the two battling it out in a 50-50 encounter, with Lesnar just sneaking a win against the leader of the C Nation and disrespecting the importance of that sacred streak win, the soon-to-be brutalized Cena agreed that Brock's title run had to get off to a terrifying and dominant start. And in the end, the Austin-suggested Cena mauling firmly established the new champ as the most unstoppable force in the business, with the Beast subsequently keeping hold of his belt for 200 plus days. And that's our list of any other hidden meanings behind epic wrestling title reigns. Well, let me know all about them in the comment section right down below, and don't forget to like, share, and click on that subscribe button while you're down there. Also, if you like this sort of stuff, then please head on over to whatculture.com and find some more fantastic articles just like the one this video you're watching right now is based on. I've been Gareth from What Culture Wrestling. Cheers for watching this video, and hopefully we'll see you soon. Bye bye!